What is going on, everybody? I am Dom of X, and today we are going to be talking about some brand new DC books and a couple of delays. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright folks, the first of which is a 2025 edition of the now long out of print Phil Jimenez Wonder Woman Omnibus. This is retailing at $100 with 856 pages of content, coming out on the 12th of August with the same contents as previously mentioned from those earlier printings. You got Wonder Woman 1987, issues 164 to 188. Wonder Woman, Our Worlds at War #1, DC Special, The Return of Donna Troy 1 through 4, and Secret Files of Wonder Woman issues 2 through 3. Next up, we got the Batman Nightfall Omni Volume 3 Night's End, a 2025 edition of this. I just want to note out that a lot of people have been clamoring for this specific omnibus so that they don't have those big giant phone book type of trade paperbacks on their shelves. So now you can now have Nightfall, Knight's Quest, and Knight's End to round out your 90s Batman set. This is retailing for $100 at 896 pages of content, coming out on the 5th of August. This is going to collect Batman 509 to 510 and 512 to 515. Batman Shadow of the Bat 29 through 30 and 32 through 35. Detective Comics 676 to 677 and 679 to 682. Robin issues 8 through 9 and 11 through 14. Catwoman issues 12 through 13. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight issues 62 to 63. Showcase 94 number 10. Nightwing Alfred's Return number 1. And Batman The Vengeance of Bane issue number 2. And two new omnibuses from the Rebirth and post-era of DC Comics, the first of which we do have Action Comics by Dan Jurgens, Omnibus Volume 1, not the Dan Jurgens of the 90s, but the Dan Jurgens from the Superman line of the Rebirth era. This is retailing at $125 with 848 pages of content, coming out on the 5th of August, collecting Action Comics 957 to 976, Superman Lois and Clark issues 1 through 8, Superman 18 through 19 from the 2016 run, Justice League 2011 issue 52, which was omitted from those Jeff Johns New 52 omnibuses of Justice League, Convergence Superman issues 1 through 2, Superman Rebirth number 1, and DC Universe Rebirth number 1. Now, I do have to mention, a couple of you might be asking, why are you throwing in Superman issues 18 through 19, and why are you also throwing in Superman Rebirth number 1? Superman Rebirth number 1 is quite literally where we get to see the Clark Kent of this Superman book. I won't display who that Clark Kent is. You will have to read that out for yourself. That is his technical introduction into this DC universe. On top of that, you do have issues 18 through 19, which are part of the Superman Reborn crossover that, if I told you the premise, it would spoil the story for some of you who might not have read it. So I would advise, if you are reading this specific series, I would also personally collect the Superman by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason omnibus hardcover that is currently in print. So those two coincide hand in hand. You have more of a heroic superhero story with Superman Action Comics. And then on the other side, you have Superman, which is your sort of slice of life Superman book. Those two flip-flopping back and forth. And last but not least, for the omnibuses, we do have Detective Comics by Mariko Tamaki Omnibus. This is going to collect her entire run along with creators such as Nadia Shamas and Matt Rosenberg, who did the Tower storyline. You also have artwork by Dan Mora, who is featured heavily in this omnibus before he makes the jump over to Batman, Superman World's Finest with Mark Waid, Ivan Reyes, and those creators of the sort. A very underrated Batman run, in my opinion. Might be my favorite Detective Comics run right after. Man, it's hard. We've had a lot of really good Detective Comics stories. This is none other than that. This is $125 for 1,000 pages of content, coming out on the 19th of August. Collected in Detective Comics by Mariko Tamaki Omni is Detective Comics 1034 to 1061, Detective Comics 2021 Annual number 1, Batman Secret Files Huntress number 1, Future State Dark Detective 1 through 4, Batman One Bad Day Two-Face number 1, which is a very nice surprise thrown in there from the one-shots of the One Bad Day event, if you would like to call it that, and stories from Detective Comics 1027, Secret Files number 3 from Batman, and Batman Black and White 2021 issue number 5. All right, let's go ahead and get to the brand new DC books that were also added to this. The first of which is Batman Year 100, the 2025 edition by Paul Pope. This is coming out on the 26th of August at $19.99 and 232 pages of content, collecting Year 100, issues 1 through 4. Next up, we got Batman Year 3, the Deluxe Edition. This is $19.99, 112 pages of content, coming out on the 12th of August, collecting issues 436 to 439 of Batman. Next up, we got Batman, Superman, World's Finest. Volume 7, Total Eclipso, hardcover and trade paperback, $24.99 for the hardcover and then $17.99 for the trade paperback. 168 pages, coming out on the 5th of August, collecting issues 31 through 34, Batman, Superman, World's Finest, and also Green Lantern, Green Arrow, World's Finest Special Number 1. That World's Finest Special Number 1 is authored by Jeremy Adams and not Mark Waid, for those of you keeping tally at home. Next up, we got Green Lantern Volume 4, Civil Core, trade paperback, coming out on the 5th of August at $19.99, 144 pages, coming out on the 5th of August. This is going to collect issues 16 through 18 of the Jeremy Adams run of Green Lantern, the Civil Core Special Number 1, which is co-written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and then the Fractured Spectrum Special one-shot will also be collected in this trade paperback. Next up, we got Batman 66 Compendium trade paperback. So you don't want the Omni, you can get the trade paperback instead. This is a thickie at 1,024 pages, coming in at $59.99 on the 26th of August. Same contents as the Omni, issues 1 through 30 of 66, Batman 66 The Lost Episode, along with a story from Solo number 7. Next up, we got Stephanie Brown, Batgirl, my favorite Batgirl run. For those who actually don't know, this is coming out on the 12th of August, $29.99, 328 pages. There was a previous collection of this before. This is the 2025 edition. This is going to collect the second half of the Batgirl run from issues 13 through 24. Bruce Wayne, The Road Home, Batgirl number 1, and Leviathan Strikes from Batman Incorporated number 1, written by Grant Morrison with art by Yannick Paquette. It's actually quite fun, I would definitely say. Next up, we got Batman The Brave and the Bold, Legends of Justice, collecting issues 7 through 13 of the current Batman Brave and the Bold ongoing, 184 pages, $19.99, coming out on the 12th of August. Next up, we got Question All Along the Watchtower, which spins out of Mark Waid's Justice League Unlimited. This is by Alex Segura and Kian Tormey, for those who are keeping score, coming out on the 26th of August at $17.99, 136 pages, collecting the 6-issue miniseries. Next up, we got Black Lightning, the standard. This is a Fika Ossio drawn and Brandon Thomas written Black Lightning book. Again, also spinning out of Justice League Unlimited, coming out on the 26th of August at $17.99, 152 pages, collecting the 5-issue miniseries. Next up, we got Milestone Universe, the Shadow Cabinet trade paperback, coming out on the 19th of August, $17.99, 196 pages, collecting Milestone Universe, the Shadow Cabinet, issues 1 through 4, and the 30th anniversary special of Milestone. All right, a couple of updates to talk about. The first of which is Power Girl, Volume 3, The Star by Leah Williams is being pushed to the 24th of June instead of the 10th of June. All right, and a big one, this is the Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson Omnibus Volume 1. This is now going to be out on the 29th of July instead of the 1st of July. Next up, we got Wonder Woman by George Perez Volume 2, 2025 edition. This is not a release date update, but it is being toned down to $29.99 instead of $39.99, so thank you, DC. Next up, we got JLU Volume 1, which is now called Into the Inferno. This is the Mark Waid, Dan Mora Justice League joint, collecting issues 1 through 5. Next up, we got Jupiter's Legacy Library Edition Volume 1, now coming out on the 22nd instead of the 15th. So for all you Millar World fans who are wanting those big editions for the nice art by Frank Wiley, Wilfredo Torres, this is the book for you. And last but not least, you got the Giant Turtle Man, Superman Family, DC Finest, now coming out on the 22nd of April instead of the 15th of April. So sad news for me, but I'll still be able to read it. Now, if you want to track these books, you can, of course, check out my site at...
If you haven't yet, check out our website, comicreleases.com, my and Webhead's love letter to comics, a hotspot where you can finally figure out what's coming out, when, from what place. Our unique upcoming website tracker in the Collected Editions tab makes sure that you're on top of every single collected edition coming out on the market, with release date updates to the minute, from the tiniest graphic novels to the giant Generator Deluxe hardcovers as large as an absolute. Our unique spreadsheet not only gives out the most accurate information out there, but our format also filters and ensure that you can find your books as quickly as possible. The tracker also gives out links to domestic and international retailers so that you can purchase your comic books at the snap of a finger. We are also proud to host monthly solicitations as per given by the publishers that generously send us information to give to you all. From the Ultimate Universe to the creator-loved Oceans and Universes, we specialize in giving you the most readable format of solicitations without any of the annoying advertisements. If you also donate to our Patreon at just $2 a month, which is less than a coffee at Starbucks, you will receive access to a special watch list dedicated to individually tracking items that are on your wish list, past or present. Place in your tracking number and make sure that these books also not only come in safe, you can even put in special comments on these as well. On top of that, your name will also show up at the end of every single Dom of X video creates as a huge thank you. That is comicreleases.com. For more information, check this out down in the description. If you also want to contact me or Webhead, check the contact forms down in the description or email me down in the description.
But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below which of these announcements you are the most hyped up for. Marika Tamaki's Detective Comics is, I think, one of the most underrated runs of the last 9 years on Batman. Very fun, very emotional, and I think she and Dan Mora kick some butt on this book. But let me know in the comment section, regardless, if you are excited for this, if you're bummed out about something, let me know. That's going to be it for me. I am Dom of X. You be you. Take care. Dominate the day wherever you go.